So we're moving away from the short films of last episode and we're back to features. This episode we're taking a look at Treasure of the Ninjas. Now this is a 1987 zero-budget martial arts film directed by, written by, produced by and starring William Lee. This is technically his second feature film and it's his most famous one. And it looks like he had a pretty decent career after this, up until recently as well. It looks like he's still making stuff currently. People who star in this are generally people who only star in this, or maybe one or two other William Lee films. This doesn't have any big names or any names you'd really recognise outside of Lee himself, probably. So I've seen this referred to as a so bad it's good, zero-budget martial arts epic. Which sounds up my street, I'm not gonna lie. Sounds like something I'd very much be into. I know absolutely nothing about this. So let's have a look, shall we? See if it's any good.
If we find the treasure, the government wants full credit for supporting us. If we don't...
They keep it quiet so no one knows that we were involved at all.
Now, you got the picture.
Tough little bitch, ain't she? Cool it, little cuzzy. That woman is a class up. She just got her priorities in the wrong place. Well, what?
What do you want me to do, Mr. Chase?
Keep an eye on them. If they go into the jungle before I get there, make sure nobody follows them.
Don't worry. My men are waiting for me back in the jungle.
You and your killing team have never failed. Don't fail this time. I'll be on the next flight out.
The plot follows FaZe, who is a martial arts skilled secret agent played by William Lee. Now he's tasked by the government to help a professor find some treasure on an island. But they're not the only ones looking for this treasure. You've also got the island's owner, along with his ninjas and henchmen, and then you have the treasure's protector, Ikar the Invincible, also trying to stop people from moving the treasure at all. It's an all-out battle for the treasure to end up in the correct hands. This is a complete love letter to martial arts films of the 80s, 70s, and also a big love letter to Bruce Lee. It's a masterpiece in incompetence, and honestly, I loved every minute of it. It's an hour and 45, which is long for this sort of thing, but for me, it just flew by, and honestly, I haven't laughed this much at a film in quite a long time.
Drop your guns or you're both dead.
Well, howdy, Doctor.
Well, who are you? Where's my wife?
I'm a friend of Stephen Chase.
Right, where do we start with this one then? The acting. Let's start with that. It is absolutely terrible. No line of dialogue properly syncs up with the characters, no delivery sounds right, most of it's dubbed over, you've got all sorts of crazy accents going on, and it's just, it all comes together in this beautiful mess of hilarity, and you can't help but laugh along with it all, and there's a charm to it as well. I feel like at points as well, because there's a lot of accents in this, I think most of them are done by Lee himself as well, there's a lot of accents, and I feel like it's almost an homage to bad dubbing of martial arts films from like that were becoming popular in America in like the 70s and 80s. They'd come over and they'd just be rush job dubbing, get them on VHS and sell them in shops. And it's almost like he's trying to emulate that, which is bad already, and it's charming. And then on top of this as well, you've got like, the lighting's always behind the characters, so you can't really see the faces very well. They're not lit properly. And half the time this film, well most of the time this film is shot just a little too far away. You add in the quality of the print of it all and you can barely tell who's saying what at what given moment. But it's just a mess that just happens to be hilarious while it's being a mess, I'd say. Outside of this though, you have the martial arts themselves. Now, these are actually quite impressive. William Lee is a talented choreographer and martial artist, and you can tell that this is the real reason why this film exists. He clearly loved watching Bruce Lee films, went in to do martial arts, we'll talk more on that in a bit, and you can just see that he's passionate and he's trained in it and he wants to do it and he wants to showcase his skill. This is also done through the plot as well, where the plot is kind of nonsensical a lot of the time. It rushes through a lot of it with just exposition dumps, just so we can get to these fight scenes, which you can tell he's so proud of. If only they were shot a little better. I think that's the only thing. But this is the thing with low-budget filmmaking. It's hard to make a film. I've made short films, and it's a difficult task to make a film, to get everybody together. And this film's got a lot of characters in, and somehow they're all memorable. It's the weirdness of them all. They're just absurd enough to stick in your mind. But you get all these actors together, you get all these cameras that you're not fully sure how you use, because I think this was all shot on Super 8 and then edited on VHS, so that's something else entirely. That's crazy. And you get all these things together. You got to get people right, weather's got to be right, timing, you got to make sure you don't get interrupted, you got to get permits maybe, or you don't, and then the police come and shoo you away. So many different things that can go wrong, yet somehow it exists and it is here, and that's just impressive in and of itself. That he just managed to get this thing made and completed, and there it is, it exists. And I'm glad he did, because it's a charming, charming watch and a love letter to all things martial arts, and it just worked for me. It worked for me. And I think that is why I would call this film So Bad It's Good. Now, a lot of films get that title these days. It gets thrown around a lot. Now, what I'm looking for in a So Bad It's Good is not something that's self-aware. Something that, I don't want something that knows that it's being bad and it's sort of nudging and winking and like, look at us, look what we're doing, look what we're doing. I'm not counting that. That isn't a So Bad It's Good film for me. Films like Troll 2 and The Room, where there's a sincerity, where they are actually trying to get something across, they're trying to make something that they think is a masterpiece, and it comes out wonky and weird and not quite right. They are So Bad It's Good, because you need the sincerity behind it to empathise, I guess. You need that empathy, then adds like an extra layer. You're not just laughing at, you're laughing at how bad it is, but you're laughing at how bad it is with the idea in mind of, it's easy to fall into these trappings when you're making something, and it's easy to get a little big-headed maybe, or it's easy to just not quite have the right vision or not quite know the tech well enough or something like that. And I would honestly say that this falls into So Bad It's Good, and it's a complete joy to watch, and I will definitely be watching this film again in the future. This is 100% going to be a part of my bad movie night rotations. People I know need to see this. It's excellent. But we're not quite done with this disc yet, because there is another feature on it. William Lee's first feature, to be precise. So let's move on and see what that one's all about, shall we?
Well, Doctor, it's time.
Where's the fun? What is this? What are you...
Dragon vs. Ninja is again directed by, written by, produced by and starring William Lee, and is from 1984, making it his first feature film. The plot follows William Lee, played by William Lee, who is fighting an opposing dojo because he's trying to avenge his master's death and also find some treasure. Dude loves his treasure. It has a lot of similarities to Treasure of the Ninja. It's got the funny dialogue, the over-the-top campiness to it all, the really cool and good fight sequences, some decent choreography in there, but it is a worse experience overall. It only comes in at 65 minutes, but for me it felt longer than Treasure of the Ninja did, and that is mostly just down to how it's made. It's much rougher, the print is much worse, The sound is inaudible quite a few times. It's not great. And there's a few major issues, but one that really stood out to me was that most of the cuts between shots, when the camera comes back in, the lighting will dip and come back up, and the sound will cut briefly. And when you've got a lot of rapid shots cut together, that can be quite difficult to sit through, honestly. It's not ideal. So it's not a perfect thing. It is definitely entertaining, but not a perfect thing. This definitely feels like a prototype for what would become Treasure of the Ninja. This is definitely some form of prototype. It's like they're trying to figure out how the camera works and how can we shoot fight scenes. It just makes a lot more mistakes than Treasure does. It's definitely an interesting watch for fans. I'd recommend it for fans, but I don't think it's a starting point with his work. I'd say start with Treasure of the Ninja. If you want a little more, maybe check out Dragon vs. Ninja. But once again, this isn't all we have on this disc, because we do have a few early short films. So let's move on to take a look at those, shall we?
The message.
What took you so long, son?
Next time I'm gonna get somebody that can knock some sense into you, old man.
The police now.
Me? No way. I'm glad he's dead.
What?
So, short films. We get a few of them on here, really, and I think I'm going to split them into two categories. I think that that's the best way of talking about these. So firstly, we have the New Chinese Connection from 1980. And if Dragon vs. Ninja was a prototype for Treasure of the Ninja, then this is 100% a prototype for Dragon vs. Ninja. It's the same sort of fare. It's William Lee fighting his mates in the park, badly edited together, bad audio. And yeah, it's only 22 minutes and it feels like a test for what would then become Dragon vs. Ninja, which feels like a test for what then would become Treasure of the Ninja. You could definitely see the progression with these. It's not the most entertaining, but it's not completely void of entertainment. If you want to see more of William Lee fighting, then it's probably worth checking out, because you do get a bunch more of that. And then we have the other section. I'm going to have to double check the names on these because there's a few of them. So what we basically got here is 4 very short and very early short films, being the Willie Jack series of films. So these are called Willie Jack, being the first one. Then Return of Willie Jack, Revenge of Willie Jack, and Willie Jack in the Jungle. They're very short, ranging from 2.5 minutes to 3.5 minutes. And this is Lee as a teenager, basically just fighting kids in various dark rooms or in the park. There's not much variation on these. The sound is absolutely inaudible, pretty much completely inaudible. Don't know if you heard that, that was Beck. I think it's feeding time. What are you doing? So yeah, they're basically inaudible, but you know what, there's a charm. You get that real charm feeling of like kids dicking about with a video camera for the first time. And yeah, it looks like it's sort of his little like karate or kung fu or whatever he was training in group of kids, just sort of getting together, fighting each other. There's some endearing effects in here, but they're not essential. They're not going to blow you away or anything like that. It's nice that they're included on the disc, absolutely, these sorts of things, because it's nice seeing basically how we ended up with Treasure of the Ninja. You can really see the progression. It's been interesting because I've basically watched these in reverse order, watching the end product and then worked backwards to the early shorts when he was a teenager. And if you really like his film, Treasure of the Ninja, you're probably going to get a kick out of watching this progression. Outside of that, though, you're not going to get much else, I'm afraid. But yeah, decent inclusion. Let's do a bit of wrapping up, shall we?
out of here, Willie Jack. Next time you'll fight the mean karate expert.
So I've pretty much discussed everything we get on the disc, but we do also get some audio commentary for Treasure of the Ninja with William Lee. Not listened to that, but I can imagine that's quite an interesting listen, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, it's a great little package, to be honest. It's pretty much everything early William Lee, and it's great. It's nice that it's all been preserved. I like it when stuff like this is preserved because it feels like it needs to be. It's just really good, really nice little package. The print is a little tricky to talk about, really, just because of how these films were made, I guess. So a lot of these were shot on 8mm or Super 8mm and then ran through VHS to edit. And yeah, you can tell the prints are pretty abysmal. Even though they have been enhanced somewhat, they're still not very good at all. The visuals are blurry and mucky and grainy, and they jump about all over the place, and the lighting's all bad on it. The audio is nearly inaudible for most of it. I mean, I've been showing clips throughout this review. It's just that, basically, for the whole thing. And the earlier you get with his films, the worse the print gets, which is understandable, honestly, it's understandable. There's nothing you can really do about it, and they are upfront about it. On the back of the case, it does say, note that Treasure of the Ninja was shot on Super 8 and edited on tape. Please approach the technical quality of the transfer with empathy. Which is nice, at least they're being upfront about it. You know what you're getting if you read that disclaimer on the back. And yeah, there's not much more you can really do about it, unfortunately. So it's not a case of laziness in this instance. It's not a hard gore where, oh, they just slapped whatever print they had on a disc. This is just how it's going to be, unfortunately. But saying all this, it kind of adds to the charm of it all. I think if this looked beautiful in 4K, it wouldn't be quite as charming as it is with the dodgy print. Okay then, time for the case, and honestly, it's pretty nice. I do really like the slip cover with Lee front and centre mid-smack. It's an honest case as well. The image isn't the best quality. It kind of lets you know that it's going to be not the best print and very low budget without it being completely off-putting. We also get a reversible sleeve too, and I really like the handmade poster artwork. It fits the movie perfectly. All the information seems correct on the back, the run times are right, and the write-up is nice. You can tell AGFA and Bleeding Skull were fans of this. Yeah, really nice little package, good presentation. Overall then, yeah, this is fantastic. This is exactly what I look for in a low-budget film. And I would definitely say that so far this is the best in the AGFA 101 collection. If you are a filmmaker who's had experience to making low-budget films, or if you're just a fan of low-budget DIY films, or if you just like seeing silly, campy kung fu movies with charm to them, then I would definitely say that this is well worth a watch. There's a lot to love about this film. It doesn't feel like it's been slapped together haphazardly. It feels like a labour of love that just happened to be a little wonky at times. The packaging is nice, the presentation's nice, the extras, seeing his earlier films and such, is a great little addition. This is definitely a film I will be watching again in the future. This is going to become a staple, a rotation for drunken movie nights with friends. My friends need to see this. I can't sit alone having seen this. I need to show people it, and I will be showing people it. So, excellent. One of the best so far. It's nice to see something that really made me laugh as much as this as well. Don't know if that's going to be the case next episode. I don't know. Next episode looks like an interesting one. I definitely like the title. The title seems ridiculous. As for the film though, who knows? Next episode, we are going to be looking at The Curious Dr. Humpp.